Hello team, so this is us back to Reforged, because I've really been missing it. I tried to get a few games done last night, but it was just quite a struggle. So what I've actually done is I've gone and grabbed some of my really old replays, just because I want to try and just make some more videos and keep myself excited for all of this. I will get some more recent playthroughs sorted out as soon as I can, but right now I've got 3 pretty entertaining battles that I'll post up in hopefully quite quick succession, and these are from quite some time ago, as I say, maybe about at this point around about 4 or 5 months ago. So it'll be interesting to sort of see how my styles have changed. We've got a 4v3 siege of Edoras right here, and I'm playing as one of my favourite factions, Rudar, and they're one of the first factions that I really had some success with in Reforged. So they've always had a really special place, and I try to play them as much as I can. Then I've got my ally here, Bob Tanter as Isengard, and we've got a Mordor here as Ricky Beagle as Mordor, and then on the far side there we have Free Lexi as Erebor. So we've almost got a good versus evil with these dwarves of Erebor over there as well. So these are all good factions, good men factions, yeah. So we've got Cardlin with Stuart Adale, Arthedain by Stormrix, and then Gondor as Neodan Luku. So the first thing about my strategy for Erebor that's changed is, for this siege I only brought 3 rams, which on many sieges 3 rams would be quite excessive, but the walls of Erebor can be, or not Erebor, sorry, the walls of Eriador can be knocked down by rams, so you can create as many holes in the walls as you really like. So you should always bring maybe about 5 rams when you're attacking this settlement. I brought my army composition really hasn't changed too much since then for doing sieges, but there's a few changes in choices that I've made, so I'll talk through those. My Rudar marksmen are always going to get brought to a siege. Half decent quality archers really, with slightly more ammunition than normal archers, so they're just great for sieges, I feel. Behind them I've got some Rudar swordsmen and some Rudar clansmen there that are pushing my rams without the armor upgrade. As always, I tend to go for a more mass approach rather than quality approach, so there's not too many upgrades getting thrown out to this army. My Herendane pikemen, solid choice, and the Dunman pikes, and I've gone for a very pike heavy focus. This is not something I do for siege attacks anymore. I'll always bring, say, 3 units of pikes, the 2 Herendane pikes and then 1 Dunman pikes, but I would now normally replace these with swordsmen or spears. Behind them I have more Rudar swordsmen, so another 3 units there, and 1 unit for Herendane berserkers, and then 2 troll hunters and an axe thrower unit. So as I say, nowadays I'd probably change out these 3 units for perhaps a ranger, and maybe another axe thrower unit, but because I do have a decent amount of swordsmen here, I do feel. Behind then I have my Rudar clansmen. Now this is actually where my general is. I was tempted to put him in the witch hunters, sorry, the witch realm enslavers, but I wanted to be pretty free with using them, and I didn't want to risk losing my general. So, and it was also a situation of, from a glance, that's where they would think my general is. So having him here, he was just a little bit stealthy. I'm not going to go into too much detail about my allies' armies, because as I say, that's not what I try to focus on here. But you see, he's gone. My ally here, Bob Tanner, has done the right thing with the amount of rams he's brought to the fight here, so that's good for him. He's got some trolls, very sort of horde, not so much horde, but numbers approach with Isengard. which you can do with Isengard, or you can go pretty elite with them too, and the Snaga skirmishers as well. So then Mordor here, he's set up in sort of two situations here, which is kind of interesting. He just wanted his rams pushed a bit far forward, but his main army here wanted to be kept out of trebuchet range. But we'll talk about that in a minute. And then the dwarves here were set up in a formation entirely about just moving forward as quickly as he can. And he's got a catapult there, and he is sort of immediately punished for that, unfortunately. So we have an enemy trebuchet here. Position, on Eredor you'll always sort of see a trebuchet on this point if you're fighting a descendant of Numenor, and they'll always sort of try to hit you. And even today, I'm still always shocked by just the absolute range of a trebuchet. Apart from that, at a glance, we've got rangers, wardens, some elite units kept in reserve up here, which you always tend to see the elites gathered up in this area or ready to defend the final keep, whereas the more general units are out front here. I've seen some phalanxes getting made by Stewart of Dale there, and something that does jump out at me are these two knight units, two pretty expensive knight units actually, that are positioned right at this doorway here, and I know that they're probably coming for me. Now what they could do is they could come out and just go for Isengard, say, but I just knew with my luck they've got me in their sights. So I'll start the game here and we'll get to it. The first thing, even though it's nothing to do with me, I want to focus on this catapult because it's quite interesting in the early game. He immediately starts looking for targets, and the target he finds is Mordor, because this is a very juicy spot here. But what he's pretty focused on are these temple executioners, which contains Beagle's general. Which, of course, since we deploy first, they get to deploy. He's had that unit sighted in, so he's going for him and takes him out straight away. And as a kind of dicey morale faction, which all the orcs are, losing your general right at the start was a real shame, especially considering he's losing these temple executioners as well. So it wasn't good. Now, something we can look at here on the mini map. We'll zoom on over to it. But the knights, as I presumed, are moving out toward me, but not the knights of Numenus. I thought I'd get both of them, but no, it's just the knights of Thorondor. The knights of Numenus, however, no, those are some Borg riders. I think I said that this is happening, and I asked for some assistance. So those Borg riders are coming in to help, which I'm very grateful for. I was very cautious here. Mainly because we were waiting for the dwarves to move into position anyway, but I just thought, with these knights on the field, I don't want to move up until I know what they're doing. So I just stayed. I moved up very cautiously, it seems, okay. But until they were dealt with, or until I had the wargs nearby me, I was in no rush to charge the enemy, to charge the fort. So Mordor is pretty aggressive here. We were speaking to him, I remember, and we were saying, hold back, just wait for us all to get in position. But there was no stopping him, and I definitely get like that sometimes. But it would have been quite nice if he could have held back. Now this formation gets spread out because he sees the destructive power of that trebuchet and doesn't want to get caught in it, considering his real blob that he had in the beginning there. So he starts spreading out. He's still got some dicey areas where a trebuchet shot can do a lot of damage, and he knows that these catapults are going to be absorbing fire, but there's nothing we can do. That trebuchet is going to outrange everything we can do. Ah shit, did I miss it? Might have. Yeah. Okay, I'll slow it down here and try and explain what happened. So that knight unit came on around. I actually just pause it straight. So it came around here, all the way to the back of me, and I thought it was just going to sit there and watch me and wait for an opportunity. But he saw my Hernidae Berserkers and he thought, yep, this is who I want to kill. And I saw that he was targeting them, and I wanted this unit dealt with, so I turned them around, or I tried to turn them around at the last minute, just to absorb the charge as best they could, and I did lose quite a few of them, but with a throw from my troll hunters, and I think a throw from these berserkers, they lose half the unit and they start routing. And they've got to route through my lines, which I think we end up removing this unit from play. So as I say, I moved my Witch Realm Enslavers out of the way because I really didn't want them to get hit. Even though they get, with their dual weapons, they get 200 weapons even, they get a little bit of a bonus. So as they're charging through the back of my pikes, I stopped throwing things right now because that could do a lot of damage. But they were all dealt with here, just because of the route that they were trying to run. So I was feeling pretty good. Half of a unit of my Hernidae Berserkers for destroying this unit of really quite nice cav. I was sad, but you know, I knew it was something that had to be done, and it really freed me up because the Knights of Illuminus decided to stay in. Now, had they both come out together, and you know, both tried to hit me at the same time, yet I was War Riders coming in to assist, which I was very grateful for. Had they both come in together and hit me, would have been a lot worse. I think when it comes to sallying out, it's probably a good idea if you just pick one player in your group to fully control that, so that he can sally out with multiple units of cavalry, and he's not worried about coordinating and making sure that you're all doing the right thing. Because when you're not speaking to people in voice, it is quite difficult to communicate with the text that the game gives you. So apart from Mordor, as I say, is being pretty aggressive, but the rest of us really we hold back well. So I'm just gonna increase the speed for a bit. Yeah, Isengard doing the exactly right thing. As I say, I was quite novice at this time, so I didn't. I'm quite slow right now because I was dealing with those cavalry, but
captured the enemy's
you know,
walls.
we've got 1, 2, 3. We got you know, half a dozen breaches already in these walls, so it just really makes it difficult for the enemy to know where to defend, and they've had to sacrifice this entire area up here. You see this a lot. People just they defend these choke points. Now this is a very interesting point here because you can get cut off. If I was able to push up to here, and the enemy pushes up to here, whatever you've got in that little section can't escape. So I always, I've actually yet to defend this settlement. I'm much more comfortable attacking, as I've said before. So, but I would like to. I'd like to see how I sort of try to use that. Those knights, I'm just trying to pick away at them with my archers. I'm not going to do much damage, but as I say, these archers, I'm only bringing them generally for the enemy to use shots against my archers instead of shooting my very lightly armored infantry. But if I can land if I can get a few kills with them, then all the better. Now, right now, I'm just attacking these Thieves of Tharbad. Yes, nice lightly armored unit, unshielded, but very brutal in melee and armor piercing. Which armor piercing is not going to do too much against me, but I wanted to. They were the best targets I had, so I hit him quite a bit. He's got to hug against, go over and hug against the wall. Mordor, as I say, is going for it, full tilt. His Orc fodder just getting in there, tying up some units. These cave troll drummers, or just troll drummers, not cave troll. And he's even got some things moving around to start pushing up this side and try to deal with these crossbows. But these crossbows are really quite decent in melee. I am a really big fan of Cardolin, and I use them all the time. So, no, they did okay. I think he actually cancelled that shot. So had they gotten that shot off, that would have been pretty brutal. All in all, though, we were pretty, because the dwarves are nowhere near ready to attack. I'm nowhere near ready to attack, and and Isengard is still wanting to hold back. So it was we were all just trying to get Mordor to wait, but he was not too interested in that. But at the end of the day, he uses up a massive amount of their ammunition. They're forced to use some of their rangers to try and take him out. These rangers are being used against orc fodder, I think. Oh wait, no. I think that they are being used against skirmishers. Okay, yeah, I understand that, but better just use a normal unit of infantry and a normal unit of archers and maybe try to hit these halberds or something like that, maybe. Something a little more important. Now this gate was weird. It looks like it was open, but it wasn't. So yeah, I would have loved to have just gotten my archers or my axe guard, lined them up right here and fired in, but it was, it's just a bug you get with this game sometimes. So they're not doing anything to challenge me, and we've dealt with their cavalry, so I can be really free with my archers and just try to hit the best targets I can and see these men at arms, and I just start hitting them from behind. No, oh wait, no, not yet. Still shooting at the Arthedain marksman. I think this is brought to my attention before too long. You see the Thieves of Tharbad, that's another unit that he's got there. You can bring 2 of them before you go into the red limit. Just trying to, yeah, he's just trying to wear them down. As I say, it was, we were pretty aggressive, but I think we were just trying to make use of what Mordor was doing, and these orc archers, yeah, just, they're going to get torn apart by the Knights of Illuminus, and he's still got his elites. That was the main thing. Even though we were kind of like, oh, you've lost half your army, he really had only lost the worst part of it. You know, we're at 18% for their 5 at this point, and I was feeling a bit concerned, but as I say, most of the boys we lost there were just orc fodder. So this is where I started to focus in on these men at arms. Yeah. So it's only 1 dead there, but I have been landing a few decent shots on their backs. Yep, I keep hitting them. They realise before too long and turn around. Just want to see how many guys I actually kill with this strategy. I'm afraid my early game fighting on sieges is usually quite boring, because I want to use up as much enemy fire as I can, and I want to make sure there's no point in me advancing until I've used every arrow in my quiver. So yeah, so they start to take some losses and take a lot of damage, but they turn around, and then once they turn around and I'm hitting them from the front and they're getting their shield bonus, and that when they do that, it starts to become a lot less effective. Now those guys, they've got their swords out, which, yeah, so this is one thing that Mordor was very successful at. Even though they're just 7 dim archers, he's used up all of their ammo, and those militia archers, winded, they've definitely been firing a fair bit, so they've used up a fair bit of their ammo. Band of Brass archers were called upon, so yeah, although it's definitely not the strategy I would have done as Mordor, it wasn't ineffective. It did help us. So I think he was pretty keen to start moving up more men then, but he did realise he needs our support at that point. Now, what state is that catapult in? He's still got all 3. Oh, great. Okay, I was wondering when this happened. That's a shame. Yeah. Nope. So our catapult was just a perfect target for their trebuchet. He didn't want that surviving until the late stages when they've got no ammunition to take it out and stuff. And he's just hitting the axe guard. It was, all of these Erebor troops are really quite decent quality, so even killing a chunk of the Erebor legionnaires, or yeah, this is actually a very, very elite force he's brought to bear here. So were those black locks I saw? Yes, he's got some black locks, iron from spears, yeah. So all in all, any successful trebuchet is going to do so much more worth of kills hitting him than it is going to hitting me. But hitting me, he's got to get up and over there. So he started firing at my troll shot axe throwers. Yeah, you see, this was maybe I was able to shoot through this. Ah, good. No, he does. He counters, and he chases me back out. But once he chases me back out, yes, now this is where I really screwed up. I should have had another unit of axe throwers right there, so that when they chased me out, immediately I was able to hurt them. I'm able to get a quick shot in from here, I think, which lands a few good hits on their backs. Takes out a few, which these are definitely not poor quality units, so I was quite happy to see them go down. But my troll shells are not cheap, and they're not terrible in melee, so they're of course mainly brought for throwing the axes, but after that, you, especially in a nice long siege, you want every man you can get, and they can hold their own. The sergeants will get thrown in as well. We've taken this section from them, which is nice. We can operate quite freely over here, and so even though he's got quite a decent quality unit there, we're not too worried about getting hit. Apart from by these knights, who I think are about to come around and flank him. Yes, countered by the wargs, but knights are a bit faster than wargs, and to be honest, the Knights of Edoras are probably going to be able to deal with some little warg riders. Ouch, yep. Okay. No, whenever I'm on a siege as one of the orc factions, I will usually always bring a unit of wargs, just because they're such a good, easy, cheap counter to cavalry. And now I finally start coming in, so even though my men have got that shield bonus, their lack of armor just they really do soak up arrows and start they start getting dropped really quick. But I know I need to sacrifice a unit, so Rudar swordsmen are only 550. Start moving everything else up now, because I know I need to start getting aggressive. Everybody else is getting stuck in, I need to go for it. And I'm alone on this front, but that's kind of how I like to operate. I much prefer to just find a point in a siege and just say, this is my place. you guys handle the rest of it. Now, even though I've only got 3 rams, I pick this ram back up and move it over here, because I'm not breaking through that. So those are two nicely formed phalanxes with some Thieves of Tharbad there, and I'm under fire. With the Knights of Edoras like hovering over, I'm not going to charge headlong into that, so why not just make a hole over here, where he's going to have to either drag something down or pull something away, and then I can breach in there. A quick check to see what's going on with the catapult, but I'm going to try to focus more on what I'm doing over here. This battle, as were all the 3 battles I'm going to try to get recorded, are all uploaded to Scout's channel. So I'm going to be sure to put the link to those videos in the description, and because they'll be much more sort of entertainment value on his channel. But I'm just trying to, the purpose of all this is try to examine my playstyle. These troll hunters here, they've got a bit of a shield bonus, but I want to use them in the fight. They're decent fighters, and I want to make sure they can use all of their ammunition. Even though that's the front of a phalanx, I'm dealing some damage. I'd love to be killing these garrison footmen, even though they're quite cheap. They're the problem that I'm not going to be able to break through. Ouch. Yep. Even though they've got the shields on the back, they're still they don't do anything on the back. So troll shot throwers definitely still have ammunition. So even though I've busted all these holes, it's all about just trying to wear down these phalanxes before I try and bust in. Now he's left me an open space here, because I've started to break in there, and the only thing he's got to answer that with are Thieves of Tharbad. Steward Dale, it was really his job to hold the outer sections, and he did it very well. But he's already running very low
our enemy's walls.
And he's got his elites, of course, and a lot of his crossbows are decent in melee, but he was definitely the sacrifice to keep us back as long as possible, and keep the forces of Arthedain and Gondor in decent check for us. I'm sort of just letting my troll shots get eaten there, but as long as there's one of them left, they still use all of their axes, so... But I'm starting to get a bit silly, there's only 16 left. Now they still had ammo. No, they didn't. I'm just putting them there as kind of a, hey, shoot at me. Because I'd much rather they kill these guys rather than shoot my swordsman. Yeah, no. It's getting a bit silly now. Maybe I should have just taken them and moved them somewhere. Now these thieves, I think he knows he can't, he couldn't form a defensive line. He just wanted to get out and fight me. So I'm just able to pick them apart, even though Thieves of Tharbad are very good fighters. They're good against armor, and that's not where the strength of Rudar is. So we're just cutting through them with vastly superior numbers right now. Gondor starts coming in, some of these guys who are out of ammunition, backed up by some Knights of Illuminus. Now I was a bit scared because I saw those Knights of Illuminus and I don't have any spearmen there. So I'm running my troll hunters over there just to try and answer to that, because there's spears and melee. I've just kept all of my pikes in reserve. I didn't want any damage to my pikes from archer fire, and I've got 2 units of swordsmen in reserve. Unit of troll hunters there. I probably should have just brought them up. And the clansmen, this is of course a bad reason to have the your general in there. These guys could have actually been useful, and instead they were kind of just bodyguards for my general. So I managed to push through, and I get hit. Now, because I charged him, he didn't actually manage to get a proper charge off. So his lances were not down, and I even took out a horse there. And it was really he killed a few guys, but it could have been so much worse had he actually built up the speed. So he decides, I think at that point, does he just pull these guys away, or does he come in front of the charge? He does, right? Yep, yeah, so this is where it's starting to get bad, because I still don't have an answer to these cav. I should have, I think my troll hunters, I had them running over here, and then I was like, nah, just get him back. But once again, I charged him before he got his lances down. I think it's this slope causing that to be more of a concern. Because he's just trying to stop me from hitting the back of these guys. And every time his knights come in, these are dismounted knights, yes, okay, good, so these guys will rip me apart. Oh, I did have troll hunters. So they've still got some, no, they're just on their spears. They will not beat dismounted knights of Illuminus, not even close, but all the hope was they hold them back. Since they're spears, he's not really going to want to charge his cav at them. He's going to try and slip his cavalry around. But even though that looks like a vast open space, it really is a lot smaller. He is able to do it. And he could run outside right now and start wreaking havoc if he wanted to, but ouch, hell, yeah. Troll Hunter's going to do their best, but they're just holding them back as long as they can while I hit them there. And as I'm hitting them there, I start charging it here. Now the problem is, that's 2 different units really, so they're not really suffering from being surrounded. And they didn't hold out as long as I would have needed them to, but they did okay. And now it's given me enough time to pull in the reserves and start fighting, but they've still got these archers, so I'm just too scared to move my pikes up. Maybe I should have had, say, a unit of Herenidane pikes coming in here to challenge these guys. Now why they moved out, I think they just wanted to start the fight as early as possible and deal damage to me before I had everything in position to pull off the surrounding them strategy. Yeah, so the whole thing with Rudar is you're really damaging when you die so quick, which is a lot of fun. Your morale tends to hold out well enough that you'll fight near enough to the last man, so I tend to think it's worth it. So this group here, I managed to get around the pikes. These swordsmen are good, but they're just outnumbered by Rudar swords, and they're getting hit from all sides, so they're not really going to be able to hold. Especially not with these Uruk-hai raiders. So Bob Tanter moved to assist me, so I was having a bit of trouble getting through here, and I really needed to get through a bit faster, because as you can see on this other side, the dwarves have moved in. We've entirely taken this area, and we're just staring them down. I love it when you have situations where you just have you've got two units that are just maybe 10 meters away from each other, just watching, and I'm waiting for the chance. And also the whole thing is, from here, if we made a push, they would get these guys and run them on around. So before we make a push there, we want to be in a position where we can close off this gap. Oh my gosh, yeah, these poor men at arms get cut to pieces by crossbows. Yeah, so that's a perfect thing to be hitting them with. They keep reinforcing this position. Those warg riders are hitting people from behind, and although it's near enough all spears here, it's just the momentary charge is enough to kind of scare people. I get this full unit of troll hunters now, and they've still got their javelins. I think I might even throw them back here. Yeah, that's a pretty good strategy. He's got fire arrows coming into my men, but these are fresh units, and Rudar morale is going to hold out. So yeah, absolutely mincing people there. So let's see. Yeah, I think as I say, Stewart of Dale was he held out really well here, and he was given aid by his friends, but I think that maybe the decision to fall back should have been made earlier, or the decision to really reinforce should have been made earlier, because they jump between the two a little bit. We get moments where they're reinforcing the front line and then they're not. So I think it should sort of be one or the other. Oh, my pikes!
They have lost
did I
half
still?
Their men.
No, my pikes are okay. They did all right with that. I should have moved them into position, formed them, and then attacked. Now, what you can see here, unarmored, unshielded, getting shot from the back by even Gondor archers. Certainly not bad quality archers, but it was only one volley they were able to achieve because we had used up so much of their ammo elsewhere. So there's these Athelian. Did we have? Oh wow, that catapult is still alive. I guess their trebuchet maybe. No, it's still got ammunition, I think, but it's just waiting. I'd be really tempted with that trebuchet just to silence our catapult, but yeah, he's not using fire projectiles, which is interesting. I normally think when it comes to artillery, you should always use fire projectiles when you're targeting people. So this group here is, they're sharpshooters, which they use maces in combat, which are good against armour. But as I say, Rudar, we don't care.
Only half our force remains.
Now, although my aggression has kind of taken this area and I've killed a lot of people, I was now in a very similar state to how Mordor was. But even worse, because I had actually used a lot of my elites in that fight. So I was, these Dunedain Rangers are actually doing pretty well against my guys because, just because of their huge amount of skill that they have, and my guys are not very skilled. So it's, Rangers are pretty good at just matching you for a while. But with more guys just entirely surrounding them, I was able to sort that out. Now, the Dunedain captains, you see, at this point I would have just said, screw it, sacrificed, it's done. Prepare the next line of defense. But they keep coming at us with stuff, and keep coming at us with elites, which are going to kill. Like, these 33 Dunedain captains are going to kill way more than 33 of my guys, but especially with the armor upgrade that they've received. But I would have just held these Dunedain clans, Rudar clans. Let's see how they get on. There's 98th there, and we'll try and catch up with that in a bit. Now this is where good. So we had finally taken that. There are some men at arms here. I just ran past them. Did I know they were there? Maybe I was just focused on killing these archers. That was a bit silly of me. Yeah. Because if I had attacked them from behind, I could have maybe killed them, I think. Dunedain Berserkers still have a bit of ammunition. They're attacking us by themselves, and there's only just 6 of these guys left, but it's enough to deal a pretty brutal charge. And my poor Rendian Berserkers are pretty underutilized, to say the least, in this fight. The captains are backed up by some spears, and you can see my Rudolph Clansmen are already down to 78, and we've killed 3 captains. So I decide, right, I need to get my elites in there to answer to this, and they're sort of exposed there actually. These Rangers could get an okay shot, but I think the Rangers mince into my pikes. Yeah, this is a blob here. I end up with very little left at the end of all this, and I'll be bumping up the speed a bit because I do really I've used up so much of my army that I become an assistant more so than an actual major participant in this battle. My pikes are moving up because I know if I'm going to challenge this, I need the pikes first. I should have just had both pikes coming together. Why are they going up first without any support? Yeah, alright, okay, they're coming now, but that was silly. I should have just had them coming together, even if they are dealing with these archers without too much difficulty. Yes, he's got the archers coming in first to attack me. Behind them are the guards of Osgiliath. Right, so the guards of Osgiliath are very good pikes, and they're going to be able to deal with me without, or at least hold me back for quite some time. Still got a few of these berserkers. My berserkers have become axe throwers at this point, because there's just so few of them remaining to actually be a melee force. But Pilgrim Marines, I'm just absorbing everything. Ranger fire, javelins. I thought that they were done with all this. I thought they had used all of this up, but no. Yeah, and I'm just this little blob here that is just taking all that fire. I've got my general hidden here. Just he's coated a little bit. If he takes fire right now, anyway, it's not the end of the world because firing at shielded units from the front. Hopefully he'll be okay. Now, although this was originally what I've got 20 swordsmen that are doing it. Yeah, so as I say, this is what we wanted to do with all the troops here. You always want to you don't want to attack until you've attacked here, so that you can kill them all together. Very unusual position for a torch, but hey. And this is really where the dwarves get settled in. It's just a grind fest, but that's exactly what the dwarves want. They just want to come in here and push through. Unfortunately, like when it comes to fighting dwarves in a siege, if you don't have dwarves, or if you are not ready to face that, then they are very powerful. That's why I do sometimes think it's good to put a limit on how many players are actually playing as dwarves. Because sieges are really where dwarves shine. Now Mordor still does have his elites. He's still got these Olokai. He's got some more javelins. I suppose in a siege they can be counted as elites, depending on how you use them. The catapult still has ammunition. Axguard of Erebor, yeah, okay, so right now it's looking pretty good. We've lost 59% for 63. We've really clawed it back, even though my army is near enough wiped out at this point. I'm fighting the Dunedain captains. Now the pikes are in place, you can be as skilled as you like. If I'm poking you from a distance, there's nothing you can do. Pilgrim Marines are hammering into me, and the Dunedain Troll Slayers are even getting a piece of this now. They really just wanted to remove this side of the fight so they only had one area to focus on. I'm fighting uphill with my pikes, but backed up by these Dunlending berserkers, we're making some decent progress, even with the Tharbad Warhammers in place. It's just yeah, it's going okay for us. It says we've definitely lost. Maybe the Tharbad Warhammers were only recently put in there. But as always with these armies, with a lot of things in Cardlin's roster, the Tharbad Warhammers are great anti-armor weapons, which Dunman pikes, Dunman pikes and Dunlending berserkers are not armed.
Very much in our favour. Victory will be ours.
So it says that, and we were starting to believe it at this point. We still had quite a lot of tools left. Isengard still had. We still had all of our trolls. That was something that was really really good for us. We still had a lot of men, a bit of fodder here and there, but we had a lot of elites, and we knew that we dealt with all of their fodder. We had dealt with a lot of Cardlin's elites, and a large chunk of what they've got left are these out of ammunition archers. So we felt pretty good. What's happening? Oh yeah, this was a great move. Just getting these archers. These are Lurt's hunting bag. This is an amazing. Once you have taken this section, setting your archers up here, they just have a perfect shot over the final battle zone, which is along this route up to this gate. That's where you tend to get some of the bloodiest elites fighting out at the end of the battle. These Trebs, I'm taking it at this point he's only really got one shot left, and he just wants to try and force a rout or something. But what we start doing here, I think I see those trebuchets, and I think we can slide through. Maybe not just yet. I really love that model. It does seem a little out of place, but it just looks cool. Got my Rudar swordsman, just okay, I thought they were archers, no they're not. Good, Black Legion of Barad-dûr just coming in. My exhausted and destroyed army is very in need of support, because oh yeah, no, it was here, so, because I remember it was the enslavers, so I see this, and I think, instead of attacking him, I'm just going to slip around and hit his treb. Now, I probably should have had something engaging these guards of Orthanc before I did this, because I very quickly go down from 14 enslavers to, well, none. But I engage his trebuchet. Whatever he's planning, I don't want him to do it, so I engage them, try to kill as many as I can, but you know, only about what 6 enslavers make it through. One of them's the banner carrier. He kills them. The rest of the enslavers are just taking pikes to the face for a while. At this area here, though, it's really started to, the pressure is coming off. They've got nothing more to really reinforce it apart from some Divinity Control Slayers. The dwarves have actually taken significant casualties, more than I thought, but there's still so much in reserve. And those Blacklock engineers have not fired yet. Or possibly they have. I can't see any massive killing zone that they would have fired into. But so the major threats there, Bandabras archers firing right now, firing in a direct line. Guys, come on. Are they all doing that? They are. Damn, that's a shame. If they were moved up to here, I don't know if you can stand there or not. So the Black Legion of Barad-dûr move up to engage this. I don't think they're pushing, which we really could have used at this point. Because Black Legion of Barad-dûr have 6 mass, I think. They're really goddamn heavy. So just if they started pushing, they would break this line. I could get my clansmen in. I could get the vast reserves that I have I've saved for just this moment, could be thrown into the fight. But no, as I say, my focus is generally here. It's a slogfest. There's nothing really nothing more to really say about it. Just trying to mop up and allow my allies to do the rest. All we're really trying to do here, we know if we're going to break through, it's going to be these dwarves, because these dwarves now only have to face some Forest Errant Defenders. Certainly not a bad unit, but with the numbers that they're facing, it's not going to happen. And they're backed up only by Arthadine marksmen. Yeah, so I'm going to speed up for a little bit. I don't think there's anything I can talk about right now. This was great. Yeah, you got these. As I say, this hill is just a massive strategic benefit. So I guess there is a lot of benefit to chasing your enemy off before you've taken both sides, just so that you can place archers on it. It's definitely something I do nowadays. I always try to make sure I've got an arch unit with some ammunition left, because these Snagga skirmishers are doing pretty well. But you know, I would have loved to get. I would have loved to have gotten a unit of axe throwers here to really mess these people up. I get these little freezes now and I really do worry that it's gonna crash out on me. I've not had it crash yet, so it should be fine. These Fountain Guard are coming in now. I think they did make the decision. They definitely planned it out to defend here, because you're seeing so many elite units being pulled in, whereas I would have. As I say, perhaps I'm a bit cowardly, but like when a situation is lost, I would much prefer to just fall back to the next line, and that's not really something you see them do here. They've still got a lot of elites dotted around. Unfortunately, these guys are stunned, not stunned, bugged. Now he's still got some really good fighters sat here. Now the reason he's got those good fighters sat here is because of this little mob here. These executioners suffered pretty badly by that trebuchet, but apart from that, they're good to go. Orc javelins, Black Legion, and the trolls. Would I have maybe liked those Black Legion coming around, helping us push, maybe, but I think the amount of elites there they've got is and the amount of focus that they're pulling away from our line is great. So those Fountain Guard could really be a menace. Knights of Innuminus could kill heaps, and those Belegar Marines have got ammunition. They're waiting there to kill the trolls. No doubt, I feel. Where's the White Tower? Right, so numbers-wise, it feels like it's in the bag, but it's the amount of elites they have left that is the worry. Because I've got nothing. Got no elites, got no people. That trebuchet. I think the trebuchet's crew did all die, or they were maybe thrown into the fight. They probably only had one shot left. I think they were moving them there. It's possible? No, I wouldn't say it's by accident. He definitely had a plan. Steward of Dale really knows what he's doing, so I didn't want his plan to come to fruition. I've got my general there with what's left. I just wanted to do everything I could now. My men wouldn't really suffer any morale loss from my general dying, because I don't really have any other men on the field at this point. So I just thought, get them up there, get them stuck in. Any hits that those guys take is one less hit that the Black Legion are going to take, or something like that. So I'll speed up a bit. Still more shots with that catapult. I'd say it was over on the other side of the map. I thought it was destroyed by the trebuchet. And you're just seeing this slow grind. They're coming up against Nemrothian Honor Guard actually, so that is definitely a unit that is gonna give pause to the dwarves. But towards the White Tower, yeah, as I say, I feel what they should have done was just come back here and defend it here. I know it's a much wider front line, and they don't really have the height advantage in the same way, but I just think all of those elite units compact into one area could have been great. But saying that, they do that, then we bring the Blacklock Engineers here and just fire on their side. Yeah, okay. There's merit to both strategies, I suppose. Troll Slayers, I think I have ammunition. Yeah, sure. Really nice looking axes, so they're just gonna wait and pierce the dwarven armor when they get a chance. Even though like this attack here failed, it was successful in diverting so many forces that could have been used elsewhere. So that's one of the main things about a siege. You know, you don't have to. Sometimes the guy that actually doesn't push through on his part of the wall is the guy that did more, just because he made such a big threat of himself that had to be answered. Guys, Gileath still alive, really just a testament to how good some of the Gondorian pikes are. Gondor is a faction I'd love to play as, but I think I've won one battle as Gondor in I think probably about the 10 that I played, so they're just not I usually do quite well with balanced faction, but I just can't get my head around Gondor, I'm afraid. It's not something I've been too good at. Right, those Blacklocks are now being used. Could be. No, it's definitely the Black Logs coming in and hitting the backs of these guys. That's very bloody. Hitting a few of the Axe Guard, but it's worth it, I feel. Yeah, I really feel it's worth it just to get rid of the white Wardens of the White Tower. These guys, I of course hadn't seen them because they were hidden for probably most of the game. Ow! Wow. Okay. Yep, shows just how bloody Black Logs can be. You know, they were saving these Rangers and their ammunition for just the end. And they're just getting cut to pieces by the Black Logs.
Good tidings. The enemy general lies dead.
So that was Cardinal General.
Our army is tiring.
Yeah, so I've got one unit left, so I guess they're getting exhausted. No, they're only tired.
Behold how our cowardly foe runs.
Alright, so that was
it's
the
time
last.
to press the attack.
I guess that was the last of Cardinal's troops. Yeah, I guess so. Cool. As I say, we felt now that we sort of had it in the bag, and I'm wondering when this attack is. Okay, yeah, a little bit late, I'm afraid, but 2 units of trolls, especially 2 units of trolls as good as they are, is really just mincing people over there. The Peligor Marines were able to deal some significant damage, but this one heroic troll managed to push through and stop them firing.
The battle is very much in our favour.
Oh, one
Victory
single hobbit left, firing indirectly. Yeah, yeah, every shot's firing straight up. That's an odd trajectory for that. I've still got my clansmen. As I say, it's that's actually a pikeman there, I believe. Maybe 2. Yeah, yeah. There's still 3 pikes that are beaten away. But no, even though I was looking at this and I saw that we had so many people left, I was still kind of worried. But then I looked, and Isengard still had full unit on that high, full unit of Guards of Orthanc, and I thought, yeah, they've got nothing. They've got no elites in big enough quantities that can deal with 2 totally fresh units like that. Now, of course, if I was him, I would have been moving them up close to the front lines so that they could have acted if they needed to. But you know, you're just putting them at risk, I suppose.
If we continue
Those
like
Black
this, the
Logs, where
enemy
are
is
they
no
firing?
longer in command of the city.
And, maybe at them. I don't know. Yeah, so we pushed through into the centre. The Black Legion coming up. They were kept out of the fighting. It was all trolls that were hammering away at the defences.
Our men
there,
have taken control of the city. Our men no longer command the city.
That's going to get a bit annoying. That happens a few times, but so I'll just I'll sit here, bump it up to 6 speed. Only about 1,000 frames left. Yeah, they started admitting defeat, and no, that was a really good fight. I still had 270 men left, but most of them had routed. You know, that was my axe throwers. Well, actually, I can see what it was. So, all in all, 2 units of Rudar clansmen. This was my general. They were only really committed at the end. So most of the people they were fighting were of decent quality. So I was pretty happy with the amount of people they killed. The others, yeah, for spearmen fighting you know, armored humans, yeah, okay, you know, I was cool with that. The 2 Herenidane pikes did not too bad at all. The two of the Dunman pikes did pretty well, but these were the Dunman pikes that just got ripped apart by ranger fire. So somebody had to do it. I wish they had a shield, but hey, that's the way things go. My sword's a real mix, and I think it just depends on how they were utilized. So, you know, some of them that did manage to get a good flank on would have definitely done pretty well. But Rudar is not really great at you know, enclosed, like tight quarters fighting. So I think once I had taken my, it really worked out so well for me that Stuart of Dale was so excited to defend the outer wall, because that's where I did my best fighting. As soon as we got to these very tight areas, if Rudar doesn't have any javelins left, it becomes so difficult for them. My enslavers could have done so much better. Like, they still had half their unit, and I just went on a mad charge for the trebuchet. Probably shouldn't have done that, but they did okay. The berserkers were underutilized. Really, I don't regret losing about 20 of them to the cav charge in the beginning. You know, I thought that was worth it. But it was after that, it was letting them get cav charged down just there, actually. And the troll slayers, troll hunters even, sorry, oh god. That's abysmal, I'm afraid. 13 is not enough. But these were the 33 healed casualties, which usually you'll heal casualties that were done by archer fire. So they were probably cut to pieces by archers, so, and they maybe ran away. Troll Shot Axe Throwers did better, did a lot better. This is still 96, so axes have armor piercing. I don't think axes are going to be getting that in the next patch. And my marksman did a lot more kills than expected, and with those you can see they were generally shot at by archers, so they did their job. Rudar marksmen very rarely ever let me down. All in all, though, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, Beagle just did his part. Got absorbed fire in the beginning. I feel like I'd lost a hell of a lot of boys. Yeah, but all in all, Stuart of Dale was generally fine. Me, he didn't manage to get many of the Mordor kills. That's why his kills are a little bit less than the rest. But no, all in all, really fun game. And no, thank you for watching.